The following program is brought to you by the Minnesota State Lottery. In the world of competitive bass fishing, only the best take on the Silverado. A challenging 5-tournament series where professional bass anglers are paired with an amateur angler. Together, they challenge all comers for a one-day shootout to find out who is the best of the best on the Silverado Pro Bass Tour.
Hi, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Silverado Tournament of Champions. We're up at Chisago City, North+South Center in Green Lake. Gary, what's it going to take to win this?
Well, it's definitely going to take a limit today, John. They're going to need 15 pounds, and whoever does is going to have to get 15 pounds 2 days in a row.
Join us for the action. This is the Silverado Pro Bass Tour.
I'm almost ready.
Okay.
Have you met Boomer yet?
Boomer.
You may want to play.
Oh, yeah. Go get it. Oh, back again. Go. Oh, now what? Oh. Huh? Oh, all right. Yeah.
I'm ready.
Scratch games from the Minnesota State Lottery. Don't forget to have some fun.
T-minus 15 seconds. Ignition sequence start.
This is my new Chevy Silverado. It's got a more powerful V8 and a bigger extended cab than Ford F-150 or Dodge Ram, which is a good thing because there's a lot of ground to cover out here.
On George Strait's ranch, bigger, stronger, smarter, and more powerful can only mean one thing. There's a new truck at work, Silverado, the truck from Chevrolet.
She's all I need.
Test drive a Silverado at your Chevrolet dealer today.
The Tournament of Champions brings together the top anglers on the Silverado circuit for a 2-day test of skill, patience, and perseverance.
Green Lake is going to take off same time both days from 6 to 2 o'clock. On North-South Center from 6:30 to 2:30.
Frankie's Live Bait and Marine in Chisago City is the host for the random pairing of the top 40 pros and top 40 amateurs. 20 teams will start on Green Lake and 20 teams on North-South Center, with the pros switching lakes for day 2. Steve Menz will be the first of the 20 boats out on North-South Center, while Mark Fisher, this year's Angler of the Year, leads the top 20 pros out onto Green Lake.
This was a great year, and what an honor to be Angler of the Year in the Silverado circuit. You know, I didn't do it myself. The amateurs were right there in the boat with us, and that's kind of the neat part about it. If I go back to the very first tournament on Long Lake with Ross Taylor, my junior am, a great guy, young guy, real aggressive, real excitable. He caught his share of fish, put him in the boat, helped me net, I netted for him. When we went up to Lahamadou, Craig Popkin was another junior am, another guy that's going to be a great fisherman. And then we go over to Rice Lake, which was absolutely tough for everyone. Robert Henniger was my partner, and I told Robert, I said, man, this is going to be a struggle, but we had a great day together. Last but not least, when we came out here to Minnetonka, Greg Jans was my partner. And I'll be doggone if he didn't catch the biggest fish of the day, and we caught our share of fish, and it was great to spend a day in the boat, as with all 4 people that I fished with this year, people I had never met before. I mean, that's what fishing is about. And to everybody out there, I mean, your turn is going to come if you keep working hard and do a lot of preparation, and just enjoy fishing for the sport, because that's what it's supposed to be. Good luck, guys.
We're riding with Mark and AM partner Richard Reichman minutes before the 6 a.m. start.
Good luck. Let's have a good time today. With
temperatures in the 50s and 30-mile-per-hour winds, Steve Menz heads out onto North+South Center with partner Matt Rain.
I really don't think the weather change will affect the fish in this type of a lake near as much as it would as a clear water lake. I think we'll do well.
Back on green, Fisher and Reichman throwing spinner baits.
Swingers in. I got a good one here.
Are into the day's first double.
All right. Fish is a fish is a fish. Sorry about that. We got a little running water last night, and these fish will come out and around this culvert area and hang out in this grass and pull up if there's enough current coming out of the culvert. So what we're doing is fan casting around this culvert area, just trying to pick up a few fish that might be just resting or recovering or getting ready to come in to feed right off the face of this culvert, I think. But that's a good sign, Rick. At least they're in the area. Got one. Good one.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one. He's out here. Well, that'll work too.
Oh, yeah.
That'll boy. Thanks, Rick. Tell you, that's what we want. If we can get a bunch of these. She picked it up and swam out of there with it, Rick. That's two buddies. We'll just keep each other's confidences rolling. I had one too at the same time.
Menz and Rain get an early start on their 5-fish limit.
Down. Good job. The magic lizard. Well, that's really good to get a real nice fish like that. That's a 3-pounder, first 5 minutes on the spot.
I don't know how big it is, but Greg.
That's okay. I love netting them. That'll work. Yeah.
Still fishing the culvert,
That's okay.
but switching to
Find out
jig
when we get 'em in
worms
here.
are Fisher and Reichman.
Wait. Under the net.
God dang it, the dirty water. That'll go.
Silverado pro Dave Hardig gives his take on Green Lake.
Well, this lake originally was a couple of small ponds to begin with, and they dammed her up ahead and flooded this out. So you have a ton of structure in this little lake, actually. There's weed lines to fish, there's milfoil, there's rocks, I mean, there's old foundations of houses where the flood came over. Today we'll be fishing a little, it's like a retaining wall that somebody had years and years and years ago. A lot of pike in this lake, and a lot of good pike. They hang right with the bass too. All the bass spots that I fished, I catch a lot of pike on them too. So, and good sunfish in this lake. I've been up here in the spring, and there's been very good sunfish in both North+South and this lake. So, variety of fishing, good lakes.
Right down.
Early in the tournament day, any fish over the 12-inch minimum makes it into the live well.
Oh, he's 12, easy.
In a moment, we'll return to the water and check on the rest of the anglers. This is the Silverado Pro Bass Tour.
Lottery proceeds benefit our natural and economic environments. Don't forget to have some fun.
Checker Auto Parts, Cub Foods, and the Hopkins JCs present the Forest Lake Ice Fishing Contest Sunday, February 6th. Prizes include a Ford 154x4 from Walser Ford, 2 boats from Nelson Marine, a trip to Hawaii, and 4 trips to Las Vegas by Money Mark Travel. 2 snowmobiles from Forest Lake Motorsports. The 100th largest fish will win $10,000 cash. Any fish over 1.5 pounds, $100. 2.5 pounds, $200. Other prizes from Berkeley and Clam. Magnum Augers from Strike Master. Tickets at Checker Auto Parts and Twin Cities Bait Shops, or call 612-903-4903.
Silverado. It has a more powerful V8 engine than Dodge Ram and Ford F-150. It has a bigger extended cab. And it's the only pickup with 4-wheel anti-lock disc brakes standard on every model. It's the truck. The Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Silverado, the truck from Chevrolet.
Lottery proceeds benefit our natural and economic environments. Don't forget to have some fun.
It's 6:30. We've got 4 fish in the boat, 3 real good ones. The way it's going, I don't know if we'll even move out of here. This may be an all-day sucker right here for 8 hours.
The culvert produces with another bass, and Richard Reichman tops off their 5-fish limit.
That's my buddy.
They'll have to cull a couple of 2-pounders to stay in the hunt.
In the cage.
If the fish bite like they should, you should see, I would say, approaching 17 pounds. I think the fishing might be a little bit tougher today just because of the... It's a big one. Big one. Just a little rocky point that comes out, and we're just dragging a Carolina rig lizard over the top of it. It seems like it's a real good technique for catching a big fish. You could catch probably some good ones here on a crankbait. Personally, I have a lot more confidence in a Carolina rig. The way this wind's blowing, it's about the best way you can actually fish them. So I know there's a bunch of big ones here. That's a good 3-pounder, approaching 3, 2 3/4 to 3 pounds. That's what we're after.
Fishing the other side of the rock point are Karen Savick and AM partner Kim Gibson.
Woo-hoo! I am thrilled that I got Kim for an amateur. I think we're both just as excited.
We were talking about it. We were standing there at the pre-meeting right next to each other, thinking, you know, wouldn't it be great if the 2 blonde women got together, you know, were able to do it. And we jumped up and down for joy. Everybody thought we were nuts. We were so happy.
On Green Lake, Brad Eller gets out of the wind and works the docks with Ken Rain.
There's a fish. Nice one, net. All right, nice fish. Ken's been doing a great job with the net. I mean, that's what we need, 5 of those. I don't know, he probably goes about, I don't know, probably right around the 3-pound mark. You know, right now at Green Lake, there's not a whole lot of weed cover for these fish to be holding to, so it makes it real easy to go to these docks. I mean, there's not a whole lot of cover. They've got to go to something. Docks allow you to kind of pinpoint the fish and work an area. Spinning tackle with the free-flowing line coming off the reel lets you get way up under the dock. A light bait works out real well. A nice lightweight bait kind of floats down. They seem to come up and there's a fish. Net, net. Oh, he's wrapped up. All right. Like that. That's how you do it. Nice lightweight bait. Don't want him jumping out. Okay. That's 3.
Scum frogging on South Center are Andy Peterson and Junior Am Bryn Erickson.
Basically, we've been just throwing these black scum frogs all morning, and I think that's the ticket today.
It's really great being in the Tournament of Champions here. Quite an experience with all the great fishermen who were here.
Atta boy. Keep him down.
The great thing about the Pro-Am format is the opportunity for anglers of various skill levels to tap into the knowledge of some of the best fishermen the sport has to offer.
Nice. Don't horse him. Just take your time. Get your rod out. Get your rod out. He's going under the boat. Keep your rod out.
Here, Pro John Craig plays netman for Gary Herdering.
I was concerned a little bit because he didn't fish a Carolina ring and stuff. I said, well, we'll just do a jig worm and just fish it off the bottom real slow, you know, and imitate something crawling or crawdad or whatever. And he's doing a really good job.
Also on Green Lake are Dean Capra and Am Dave Sickenender.
Boy, I'll tell you one thing, though, it's been hectic trying to keep the rods going and keep everything going. You know, when you're fishing these docks, it can be total pandemonium. This one right here might have a 4-pounder on it. There he is. Good one, too. Good one. Okay, ready? Coming up. Ooh. Oh, not yet. Boy, these fish are tough. Oh, get him, get him, get him, yeah! Way to go, buddy. He ain't a 4-pounder, but he's better than the ones we got. He loved that power tube.
Although Dean's day is going good, the same can't be said for Dad Ted.
Going to the big show.
I'm doing the same thing that Dean's doing, and as all I can catch is little fish and he's catching all the big fish, and it's driving me crazy. I just don't understand what Ross and I are doing wrong, because we're fishing all the same docks. And this, again, you can see what's going on right there. And I mean, it's driving me crazy.
There was a fish right there. He missed it. And some of these fish are pulling off the docks and getting on this inside weed line where there's no pressure. And anytime you have a weed line situation, you're going to have fish, whether it's an inside weed line, an outside weed line. In fact, Kyle, you should maybe throw your Texas rig to the weed line. And I'll rip this through it and we'll see what happens.
Little guy. We already caught his mama off this dock, but started out tough this morning. I think Tim thought, you know, what the heck's wrong with this guy? Dropped a couple of little fish, and then we slowly started to put it together, and so far we've had a real good day. We probably got 15 pounds at least, maybe a little more than that. One real big fish. Today's my father's birthday, and best thing I could probably give him for a birthday present bring in a big bag of fish.
We got around 12, 13 pounds now. And what I'm going to do is go to the windiest side of the lake, turn the trolling motor up on high, and fish all the docks I can for the last hour.
I figure we probably got 13 pounds. We got one decent fish, probably right around 4 pounds.
Yeah, the fishing's been pretty poor this morning. We've got 2 fish in a well. They're both small. The wind is really making it tough for fishing these frogs. I used a spider wire to 60 pound, no stretch. You need it to pull them out of this stuff.
Did you see that? Right next to the boat.
Don't you miss the weigh-in. It's up next on the Silverado Pro Bass Tour.
I'm almost ready.
Okay.
Have you met Boomer yet?
Boomer?
You may want to play.
Oh, yeah. Go get it. Oh, back again. Go. Ah, now what? Oh. Huh? Oh, all right. Yeah.
I'm ready.
Scratch games from the Minnesota State Lottery. Don't forget to have some fun.
Setting even higher standards for the next millennium. This is the extreme performance of the all-new VX series from Ranger. VX. It's where you go for confidence and where you'll find the leaders.
Here they come.
Frankie's Live Bait and Marine in Chisago City is host for the weigh-in, and the first teams are in from Green Lake.
All right, I'd like to welcome everybody. Day 1, Silverado Pro Bass Tour Championship. Dean Capper's the first man on the deck. Let's come off your local lakes. Fish are all going back into this light release pontoon sponsored by Minn Kota JWA. Right in the basket here, buddy.
Yeah, we had a good time. Fishing was kind of tough as far as catching big fish. We caught a lot of fish, which kind of surprised me because I didn't catch that many during practice. So I'm looking forward to a good day tomorrow, though.
You could be in there. What do you got for Dino?
1529.
1529. There's your leader. Let's put it together for him. One of the great veterans. Now Harvey Young's coming up. What do you got in there? About 20 pounds, Harvey?
Yeah, don't I wish. No, we got a limit, and I thought we were pretty fortunate to do that, John.
Okay, what do you got for Harvey?
1171.
Not bad, though. 1171.
Up to the scale next is Scott Schuda and George Anderson.
Is Scott a good hook?
Very good. Taught me some things.
I'm going to teach you too much. You'll be on the pro side for long. Come on over here, Scott. What did you catch? You are in Green Lake, right?
Right.
What did you catch the fish on?
Hooks.
That's all you're going to tell me? Was there anything on the hook?
Yeah, we're throwing plastic all day.
Yeah, what do you got, Gary?
1206.
1206. You guys ain't sitting too bad. Second place right now. Brad Leiferman coming up, and I know he wants to win this. He hates being second best, and look at these horses. Uh-oh. He's with Tim Scher. Just relax, so you're getting worse than Dino. Do you have fun with this maniac or what?
Had a good time.
All right, 1529 is the lead. You're grinning like a dog here, son.
1761.
Whoa, there he is. 17 what?
1761.
1761, and he's got a horse. Dino goes to second. These guys.
Dave Scallett and Lauren Berg also have a big Green Lake bag.
This one just to the middle of the bag. I'm going to guess it's middle 13s. Where are you guessing?
I'm guessing probably 13 and a half. Yeah, 13 and a half, 14.
All right. Who?
1408.
You'll take that. 1408. Michael Carter, Kyle Allenson. Yeah, good fish. Them are the ones that it takes. I'm figuring 12 to 14 pounds, 13 maybe. How many pounds, buddy?
I don't know. I'm hoping for 12. I'll be happy with that.
All right. Did you help him with this, Kyle?
I was more there for moral support. He caught all of them.
Yeah, he needs that. School teachers need that moral support. You know that? What do you got?
1323.
1323 or 9? 3?
23.
1323, Michael Carter. Scott Bonema, Debbie Loveday, one of the local gals from around here. What do you got for Scotty?
1177.
1177, Scott Bonham and Debbie Loveday. All right, Pat Martin with Robert Henniger, the amateur, and the best to last. Nice fish. Pat Martin will be in there. He won't be in the lead, but he'll be in there. Come on over, Pat. I'm thinking 12 to 13. You think that much?
I think probably 13 pounds, so I'll take that.
Yeah, he'll take that.
1373.
1373. That'll get you in there. Good job, gentlemen. You got a big fish. Pick him out.
Placing Martin and Henniger into 4th place as the first boats from North-South Center pull into Frankie's.
Al Erdlin coming up with his amateur partner, Dean Lesney. These fish look good. They're a little darker in color. Catch a lot of fish over there today?
Not a lot, but they were pretty steady.
All right, what do you got here?
1219.
1219. He's in the hunt. Good job,
Moving Erdlin and Nalesny into 6th place. Steve Menz and AM partner Matt Rain weigh in next.
We had a really good day today. Finally caught some that were halfway decent.
All right, Steve Menz, what do you got? Who?
1662.
1662. That'll move you up.
In fact, 16.62 moves Menz and Rain into 2nd, positioning them for a strong run the final day. Next to the scale is John Craig.
We had 8 bites and we had 5 fish. So.
8 bites, and you got the 8 bites look pretty decent. What do you got?
1280.
Ooh, that'll get you in there. 1280. Carl Greyhouse, amateur John Foley. What do you got?
1413.
But he's got some good fish in that Ranger live wells. 1413. Good job.
14.30 jumps Dreyhouse and Foley ahead of Scallett and Berg into 4th overall. An up-and-coming pro on the circuit is Brad Lightning.
Is that Ranger a good boat? Do you fish out of it good?
Yeah, I love it.
What do you got for weight?
1277.
1277 and no big fish? Nothing over 5? Alrighty. Ooh, nice bag of fish. We're going to the wrong landing. John Schley and Matt Birsch. We're still puffing and grunting today.
What's that?
You've been running late all day, ain't you, son?
I tell you, yeah, I went to the wrong landing this morning. We started off a little rough, but things picked up for us.
Oh, wait, what do you got?
1275.
1275, and he's go capture big fish.
Putting Schley and Birsch into the top 10. The last team to weigh in is also the youngest, Pro Andy Peterson and Junior AM Bryn Erickson.
Ooh, Andy's got 5. Pretty good bag of fish here.
I don't know, we had a good time today. Fish shallow all day and caught some fish.
Did your junior, as you were one once, help you out?
Yeah, he helped me out a lot today.
Come on over here, son. Did you catch the big fish?
I didn't catch a big fish.
Did you catch one that's in the bag yet?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Ooh, you're in the hunt, son. 1204. Let's hear it for him. A couple of young anglers, one of them about
12.04 moves Peterson and Erickson into 13th after day 1. Brad Leiferman holds his lead at 17.61 and will be the first boat out onto North-South Center on the tournament's final day. In a moment, we'll check out the first day standings and get the winning tip from Brad Leiferman.
Lottery proceeds benefit our natural and economic environments. Don't forget to have some fun.
Setting even higher standards for the next millennium. This is the extreme performance of the all-new VX series from Ranger. VX. It's where you go for confidence and where you'll find the leaders.
Lottery proceeds benefit our natural and economic environments. Don't forget to have some fun.
Led by Brad Leiferman and Tim Shore, here are the top 10 pros and AMs going into the final day of the Tournament of Champions.
These types of lakes out here in Chisago area are what most bass fishermen call dirty lakes. The water is off-colored, it's kind of green. If you were to talk to a fisherman down south, it would still be clear water, but up here this is dirty water. And when I get in a dirty water situation, I like to use a bright colored bait or a bait that moves a lot of water. This is a blue fox spinner bait with chartreuse blades. And this is the type of shade I was looking for. Once the sun got up, it would push this shade out further and further. And as the sun came up, then that shade line would get narrower and narrower. And once it got narrow, I'd throw my bait past the shade and try to bring it right through that shade. Oh, I just had one right there.
That brings us to the end of day one. Got Brad Leiferman in the lead with 17 pounds. You make sure you tune in next week for the final action of the championship.
The Silverado Pro Bass Tour has been brought to you by the Minnesota State Lottery, Chevrolet dealers, Mercury Outboards, Ranger Boats, and Normark. The following program is brought to you by the Minnesota State Lottery. In the world of competitive bass fishing, only the best take on the Silverado. A challenging 5-tournament series where professional bass anglers are paired with an amateur angler. Together, they challenge all comers for a one-day shootout to find out who is the best of the best on the Silverado Pro Bass Tour.
Hi, I'd like to welcome everybody to the second day of the Silverado Pro Bass Tour Championship. I got Brad Leiferman in the lead with about 17 pounds. You said it's going to take 15 pounds each day. You holding true to that?
Yeah, I'm holding true to that, and whoever can get 15 pounds today will be handed a trophy to.
Stay tuned for the final day of the Tournament of Champions.
I'm almost ready.
Okay.
Have you met Boomer yet?
Boomer.
You may want to play.
Oh, yeah. Go get it. Oh, back again. Go. Ah, now what? Oh. Huh? Oh, all right. Yeah.
I'm ready.
Scratch games from the Minnesota State Lottery. Don't forget to have some fun.
This is my new Chevy Silverado. It's got a more powerful V8 and a bigger extended cab than Ford F-150 or Dodge Ram, which is a good thing because there's a lot of ground to cover out here.
On George Strait's ranch, bigger, stronger, smarter, and more powerful can only mean one thing. There's a new truck at work. Silverado, the truck from Chevrolet.
She's all I need. Test drive a Silverado at your Chevrolet dealer today.
Setting even higher standards for the next millennium. This is the extreme performance of the all-new VX series from Ranger. VX. It's where you go for confidence and where you'll find the leaders.
Well, we're getting ready for blast off, day 2 of the Tournament of Champions for the Silverado, and everybody's out here floating around, waiting, excited, nervous. I know that's how I feel.
40 of the top pros teamed with 40 of the top amateurs for a final day shootout. Brad Leiferman, leading 20 anglers out onto North+South Center Lakes, holds a slim 1-pound lead over Steve Menz, the first boat out on Green Lake. These pros finished in the top 10 on day 1. On the amateur side, Tim Schur leads Matt Rain and Dave Sickenender.
Talked to my wife last night, told her I figured I needed about 10 pounds and it'd be a turkey shoot, and 13 pounds and this thing would be over with.
With 2 tournaments taking place simultaneously, a good draw for both pro and am is vital.
Well, yesterday I finished in 11th place, and fortunate to get Steve Menz boat 1 today, which probably doesn't get any better than that.
Don't put so much pressure on me. I will do well.
Menz and Nalesny head out onto Green Lake at 6 a.m. Leiferman and AM partner Pat Wenning lead the 6:30 a.m. blast-off on North+South Center. The weigh-in at Frankie's Live Bait and Marine in Chisago City is 8 hours and 5 fish away.
We're just going to fish these docks and along this bank a little bit. Hopefully we can catch a halfway decent limit, and later on if we're doing really well and want to try to catch a big one, we'll probably go fish the rocks.
Dean's got one.
Sharing a spot on South Center are Dean Capra and Brad Leiferman.
Well, basically we're using what a Minnesota would call a Lindy rig, but down south it's called a Carolina rig. It's just a heavy sinker and a barrel swivel and about a 2.5-foot leader with a hook on the end, and then we put either a lizard or a noodle or a plastic worm on it. The big pros say it's the one bait that'll turn an amateur into a pro in a hurry. Well, we're just trying to catch a fish on it today.
Although they're both intense competitors, Leiferman and Menz have taken a somewhat unusual approach to the tournament. Steve explains.
Brad Leiferman and myself started working together on these championships a couple of years ago. I think partnering up with Brad and practicing together is really going to end up being very important for both of us. I think a lot of these guys are making a mistake by not doing it. They think because you're fishing against them that you can't help each other out, but there's nobody here that wouldn't be excited to get second place to the guy that they were working with, so I think it's going to end up helping us both. Good one, too.
The Carolina rig in 18 feet of water produces first.
It's a bass, I hope. Yep, there you go. It's one. Right. What's taking you so long? I found the fish. Put him in the boat now. Come on, hurry up. I've been doing these things for so long, you get in a hurry and you think, man, I gotta get them 5 fish. I gotta get them 5 fish. But
Sometimes by thinking that way, you overfish the fish and you actually fish right through them. And so today I'm just going to take my time and see what happens.
After a quick net lesson for Am, Martin, Gerling, and with 2 fish in the live well, Dean Capra heads for the pads.
Well, the way I flip the pads, I use a fairly light jig because you don't want it to fall down and get in the mud. And you just kind of try to fish the stems. I got a G. Loomis flipping stick, so I'm not really watching the line, I'm more feeling for the bite, because you kind of got to suspend the bait. If it lands in that mud, you don't get a bite at all. I just kind of hold the line tight and shake it a little and hope for a bite. And when you get them, you can't lose them.
Well, this morning we started out deep on the rocks and we didn't catch anything. There's a pretty good looking shoreline that I'd raised a big fish during practice on crankbait. Just decided to run over there and run that shoreline real quick, and we caught a 4.5, 5 pounder, so it's a really nice fish. We had a couple of blow-ups, so I'm going to probably go back and hit it later. Take your time, take your time. Take your time. Yep. Nice fish. Yeah, Dean said he was one of the best amateurs out here. He just proved himself right there. It's really important to have a good amateur on any of the tournaments, but you know, these guys are coming a long ways. They're learning a lot. You know, they're the future. It won't take long either. They're learning quick.
Stay with us for more bass action. This is the Silverado Pro Bass Tour.
Lottery proceeds benefit our natural and economic environments. Don't forget to have some fun.
T-minus 15 seconds. Ignition sequence start.
Setting even higher standards for the next millennium. This is the extreme performance of the all-new VX series from Ranger. VX. It's where you go for confidence and where you'll find the leaders.
Lottery proceeds benefit our natural and economic environments. Don't forget to have some fun.
Wrong time.
On Green Lake, the slow morning for Steve Menz and Dean Nalesny continues. But it's still early, and anything can happen.
We need to catch us a big icebreaker to get things going this morning. The hardest fish of the day to catch.
I don't know what it is. It must be a northern.
Catching
Gotta
his
be a
share of
northern way
pike
it's going.
is Billy Hildebrand.
It's a northern. Doggone it. Doggone it. He sure hit like a bass. We got 2 fish so far, but I've got a great partner in Jimmy Brand.
We're going to get one on the dock here.
He's one of the most upbeat people in fishing that I have met, and that really makes the day a lot more fun, and I know we're going to catch him. I mean, how can I not know with Jimmy in the boat?
There he is.
Got him?
Yep, good fish. Turn around.
Where are you going?
Coming over this way.
Attaboy.
Told you.
Yeah, he did.
He was way tucked in there.
Was he? What are we doing here?
Not as big as I thought, but...
We'll check him and see. It's fun. I mean, this tournament fishing is awesome.
Larry, let's go hit this section of pads over by the ramp. Kind of do what we were
Back
doing
on
this
Green
morning.
Lake
Catch
is
a
Scott
lot of
Bonema and Larry Hullett.
We had a limit by 7 o'clock already. And we've just been catching a lot of fish. It's just that they're all small, so. But there's no doubt in my mind as the water warms up a little more during the day that we're going to catch some more bigger fish. A couple of little tips for fishing the pads is, number one, if you go into an area, you'll hear sunfish making a snapping noise. What they're doing, the sunfish are coming up underneath the pads and they snap little worms and such off the bottom of the pads. Bass are predators to the sunfish. If you're fishing pads where you don't hear any noise or see any activity from the sunfish, you might as well leave, because chances are there's not a lot of bass in there to be caught. Come on. That'll help a little bit. Somebody got him before there on the nose, see that? Practice catch and release works every time.
Jigworm bass in 7 feet of water fill the live well for Am Kim Gibson and Howie Lee.
Big weight today would help me out. If I can come in with 16, 17, maybe 18 pounds, I should make money, so we're praying.
We haven't caught any small fish on this spot. They've all been just the same size. Got me a little wet. I needed it though, it's hot.
There's something. Ooh. Sunny. We were able to put 4 fish in the boat in the first hour, so we're feeling pretty good. We're going to try to upgrade that right now. Oh, look at that bird, going to eat my lure.
Fishing the reeds, Menz and Nalesny have found bass and a few other species.
We went and tried some other water that, oh man, I just had a bite, that I thought probably didn't get fished near as much because of the way it was so windy yesterday. Just lift him in here. Nice doggy. Don't bring him in here. They seem to be way back into the stuff. My partner's caught 2 real nice fish, and both of them been way back in. Big sucker looked like he was going to be a hog bass. I'd say we got about 12 or maybe 13 pounds, but we can't seem to catch a 3 or 4 pounder that we need. That's the right kind. Yes. That's, boy, that one looked big when he come out of there, didn't he? I thought it was about a 5 pounder. So I'm sure Brad and Dean will get at least 13 pounds apiece. So that means I got to come in with 16 pounds to be able to go ahead of them. And it's going to take a couple lunkers.
We were over on South Center this morning. We managed to get our limit. We got 4 fish that probably average 2 pounds apiece, and we got 1 nice one. Then we come over here and I ain't had a bite, so I'm going to go back to South Center and see if I can get a big fish to bite. I think if I can get a kicker, we'll be in pretty good shape.
Last year 28 won it. I'm figuring I got 27, so I need a 4 pounder to bump me up over the edge. If I get them in the next hour or so, it's lights out.
Well, right now it's about 12:15. Sun's high, it's getting pretty warm out. My partner and I, we had a pretty decent bag. We're looking for some bigger fish. We need some big ones if we're gonna compete today.
Caught 2 nice fish, 1 a 4 and probably 1 2 3/4. I'm just gonna stay out here and see if we die out here, we die. If we catch a couple, that's what we're gonna do.
We've got 5 fish in the boat. We don't have nothing big. They're all about 2 pounds.
We've got 5 fish right now, and 4 of them are really nice. We think we probably got 15, 16 pounds. Dave was in 3rd place on the amateur side. He had 15 pounds something yesterday, and he's gonna look real strong. He'll probably win this thing today.
I don't know if I could win it, but I'm doing pretty good right now.
Tim Shore, fishing with Leroy Ranstrom, had a 2.5-pound lead over Dave Sickenender at the start of the day.
We've got 4 fish in the tank right now, and we're looking for that 5th one. I know we'll get it. There, got him. There we go. Got him? All right.
Gene Norgren and Am partner John Helgestad,
I don't think so.
also with a limit, are looking for a kicker fish on North Center.
We got time, hopefully. Only need about 25 pounds to catch up. That old Northland jig sure sticks them, don't it? Now if he was about 3 pounds bigger, do a little culling with him. Yeah.
One more fish out of the pads for Scott Bonema, and it's time to head for the scale. Next up is the weigh-in on the Silverado Pro Bass Tour.
I'm almost ready.
Okay.
Have you met Boomer yet?
Boomer.
You may want to play.
Oh, yeah. Go get it. Oh, back again. Go. Ah, now what? Oh. Huh? Oh, all right.
I'm ready.
Scratch games from the Minnesota State Lottery. Don't forget to have some fun.
There's a simple idea behind the new Genesis trolling motor. It features the push-button ease of power stow and deploy, the control of power steering with autopilot, the convenience of power trim. The new Minn Kota Genesis, pushing all the right buttons to help you catch fish. Call toll-free today.
All right, it's about 9 minutes after 2 o'clock, broadcasting live from Chisago City, the shores of Frankie's Live Bait and Marine, the site and
Camp
sound...
AN's Frank Pillsbury, joined by Scott Peterson, and Ranger Boat's George Little, broadcast the excitement of the Tournament of Champions. With the teams from Green Lake weighing in first, Tournament Director John Hesse and Weighmaster Gary Borchard kick it into gear.
All right, Howie, hold them up. I understand you got them. Oh, yes, Howie. Man's been waiting a long time with a big bag yesterday. He'd be bad to the bone. What'd he come on? This is going to be the big bag so far today.
Roller jigs, every one of them deep. Took about 20 minutes. We had our limit, about 11 pounds.
Don't you love it?
Oh.
Did you boat some of these?
Yes, I did.
How many of these are yours?
I think only probably one. I think he was the big fish guy today.
Big fish guy today. But I know you're a great hook. I know that. What do you got? Big string of the day, right?
1484.
1484. Boy, a big fish if you didn't weigh one. You try to sell your truck today?
Yes.
He's the best. He's the best Chevy salesman in all of the world. I know he is. All right, Howie. Great job, Kimberly. Stick around.
Next up is John Craig.
You must be coming in your prime there, big fella. I ain't used to this.
Well, it was good today, John. We caught the last two of our fish today 10 minutes ago. We're down, had 3 fish, had 2 nice ones and a little guy in. And towards the end, we got 2 bites that we needed.
Good deal.
Ball 51.
Ball 51. You're all right. Good job, gentlemen.
With day one second place finisher Steve Menz being held to the end, Brad Eller weighs in from North+South Center.
Brad Eller. Laurenberg. There's 5. There's 10, 12-pound bag. Come on over here, Brad. You seem to manage to put a limit together. How many pounds did you have yesterday?
I only had 10.60 yesterday.
You have a little more here today, I think, ain't you?
Yep, I think so.
All right, what do we got?
New leader, 1538.
1538. Good bag.
Mark Raveling finished back in the pack after day one, but a strong bag here could put AM partner Dave Sickenender right up there.
All right, Mark had a tough day yesterday. That's going to be the only problem here. All right, that's a good bag of fish. You're up into that decal area. We're talking 14, 15 pounds here.
We caught 4 really nice fish, and Dave caught 2 of them, and we just had a great time. I think Dave's going to win this thing.
Let me talk to this boy. You're just shaking like hell. Come over here. You help this guy out?
Yeah, I did. I got 2 of them.
I can feel you trembling, son. You just bad. You know what you win? You see that beautiful white Chevrolet truck sitting there?
Yep.
You can't pass out on my stage or I take the truck, all right? All righty. Let's hear it for him. What do you got, Gary?
New leader, 1581.
1581 for the big string this year. That's going to put you in the leader for the amateur, no doubt about it, over 30 pounds. Daniel Beckerman and Kyle Allenson coming up. This guy won our Rice Lake tournament, 4 fish, 19 pounds. All righty, come on over here, Dan. That's halfway into the decal. That's 15 pounds.
Yeah, about 13, I'd say.
I say more than that. What do you got?
1445.
See, I told you, 1445. You weigh a big
Moving
fish.
Beckerman currently into the top 10. Up next is Scott Bonham.
Scott Bonham, a great hook. These are his lakes up here.
What a day of fishing out there today for us. It's actually unbelievable. I think Larry and I probably caught 60 keepers today. A couple quick things though, John. I want to thank you and your people for all that they do for the Silverado circuit. You guys bust your butt, and it's very much appreciated on our end. I'd also like to say thank you to Frankie's Marine for putting the show on here and everything that they do for the anglers as well. Thanks.
They do a good job, and I appreciate the thought too. What do you got, Gary?
14-11.
14-11. He wants to weigh a big fish.
Giving Scott a two-day total of 25.88 and second place for now. Pat Martin weighs in next.
He's fishing with Steve Miller. He's going to need someplace 12, 13 pounds. All righty, Pat, come on over here. You got 13 pounds? I could take you there.
Oh, I'm guessing I have 11.7, but it could be 12.69.
12.69, and how much from yesterday?
Combined with a day one catch of 13.73 gives Pat 26.42 and the lead.
David Scallett, fishing with Kenneth Rain, needs 12.34 unofficially to break to the lead. God, I'm going to make you famous as much money as you're making. You got 12.34 there, ain't you?
I don't think so.
I think you do.
12.71.
There's your leader right here. All righty. Dino's coming up. Dean Capra. It's one of the Capra boys, Tony and Dean. Ted did a good job teaching these boys how to fish, no doubt about it. See, there's 11 pounds in that bag, huh?
Yeah, I think I got 11 pounds.
Look right over here. All right, now tell me what you got.
13.30.
13.30. Now we got another new leader.
For a two-day total of 28.58.
All righty, Steve Menz. Now, Steve is the last boat. It was on Green Lake. This will be close. 11.96, almost 12 pounds to the lead.
13.46.
There's your new leader again. 13.46.
Topping 30 pounds at 30.08.
Because they're locking in there tight.
What does Brad Leiferman think?
I don't know. It's going to be so close I couldn't even call it. I really couldn't.
This man has finished 2 years in a row up here in second place. He has not yet won up here. He would love to win. Ooh, this will be close. Oh, yes. There's the fish we're looking for. All right. You need 12.96, I think, is what you told me. I think you got it.
I don't know. All I can tell you is with 10 minutes to go, I fished as hard as I could. With 10 minutes to go, I had a great big fish on that broke off. That gave me the opportunity to win, and that's all you can ask for.
Do I got a winner?
12.24.
12.24.
For a two-day total of 29.84, less than a quarter pound under Steve Menz, the winner of the Tournament of Champions. Dave Sickenender takes the amateur top spot with 31.10. When we return, we'll check the final standings and get the winning tip from Steve Menz.
Lottery proceeds benefit our natural and economic environments. Don't forget to have some fun. Lottery proceeds benefit our natural and economic environments. Don't forget to have some fun.
Before we check the final standings, we'd like to congratulate two additional winners. Angler of the Year, Mark Fisher. And Amateur Angler of the Year, Steve Ward.
Let's hear it for him. He's earned it.
Led by Steve Menz, here are the pros who finished in the money. With Dave Sickenender edging Tim Schur by less than 1/2 pound, these amateurs also topped off a great year.
Whenever you have dirty water like these lakes, it's stained. You're going to find a lot of fish shallow. They feel comfortable in there, and any type of cover you can find. This is a plastic tube jig, and I like to use these under these docks for a couple of reasons. One is they skip very well. You can take your rod and you can skip the bait like a stone flat across the water, and you can get it way up under the dock where you really can't get any other lure. The problem with skipping a lure is when you skip it, it hits the water and the lure wants to fall off your hook. And the unique thing of this hook is when you get to here, you pull in like you're going to Texas rig it, and then this little clip clips onto the shank of the hook, and that keeps your tube from falling off the hook. This is an Eagle Claw HP high performance hook. Then I just rig the hook through the tube and out, so actually the hook is exposed. It was an excellent tournament, and sometimes you win one and it feels good when it finally happens.
Congratulations, Steve Menz. Got 30 pounds of largemouth bass. Gary, you talked about 15 pounds a day.
15 pounds a day, John, that's what it took. We wound up with a great champion. But first, before we go, I want to thank all you folks for tuning in this year. Hopefully our tips will help you in your fishing.
And we'll see you on the water next year.
The Silverado Pro Bass Tour has been brought to you by the Minnesota State Lottery, Chevrolet, Mercury Outboards, Ranger Boats, and Normark.